some friends that I hadn't seen in a while. It was part of the Municipal Green Building Conference and the U.S. Green Builders Group, where we gathered and focused on some critical priorities, including climate change, social justice, equity, inclusion, and moving ahead from the midst of this COVID. So, what I want to focus on is just giving the viewers and the listeners a little sampling of what's going on here in my neighborhood. We've had a lot of growth, and this is one of the developments that has cropped up since COVID hit. It's called 10 West. It's multi use. You can see it's at Fair Oaks in Old Town, Pasadena, and it's actually by the campus or on the grounds of the Parsons Corporation. So you can see, if you follow the white cursor, you can see a high level overhead view of the corporate towers. And then the development is actually on Fair Oaks. It's an office, interesting situation because this consists of offices, beautiful offices, walkable space, as well as some housing and other developments. So, what I'm showing you now is just a sampling, an overview of what has managed to sprout up in the past year. COVID didn't stop any of the construction. This is what it will look like eventually, and I think it's over halfway finished. So if you tour the area, you'll have a chance to see exactly what we are talking about because it's a beautiful scene, beautiful situation, and I highly encourage that you check this out. Now, we'll go through a few more of these slides and then move a little further because the Green Builders organization makes sure that these are compliant in terms of environmental integrity, uh, health, as well as long-term sustainability. So you can see from this view, it looks like Lincoln Property Company has done quite a bit of work. I'm not sure if this is LEED or green certified, but it's certainly something that can and should be studied. So I want to move this a little bit further ahead to see one of the other developments that has come up in the past year. It's called Desiderio Housing Tract. And this is a 3D virtual tour that I want you to also sample. The sound did not quite come through on the last presentation, so I'm just walking you through again so you can see an overview of the property. It's underneath the what we call Suicide Bridge, which is spanning the Rose Bowl area. And this is one of the first houses on the properties. And you can see in reviewing the livability index, they might have some issues. There's a ramp that would allow one with mobility challenges to enter from the rear, but as far as moving and living in this space, it can be questionable. I know that this is a model, but some of the checklist items is whether or not it's on a single story, whether or not there are levers in order to open the doors. I know this is a model, so they may have just left out some of the design features, but if you follow my cursor, I'll point out some other areas to look at and consider if you're looking for property that's livable because the cabinets and the shelves should be adjusted so that one with mobility challenges can reach those. Also, the doors on this image don't have any levers, and I don't know if these are sliding doors or if it was a detail that was just left out due to the restrictions of this 3D image, but at least you can see inside. They have the bedrooms also on the first floor. So it looks like it has quite a bit of potential. So as we move through the structure, we'll also have a chance to see that the property appears to be well laid out. It's two bedrooms. It appears to be two bedrooms. Then we'll take the tour and move on through to the kitchen area as well as the bathroom area is shown as you walk through this property. So this is one of our short and sweet little presentations just to give you some ideas of other things that I'm involved with in the contracting business advisory side of things, as well as with Second Wind Nonprofit, offering services to the community and for education to make sure that we recover in this public health crisis and move ahead. Now, one of the major issues is the affordability. The average price of a home here in California is approximately $800,000. So I don't know how they will fix that issue. I know that this property was given to Habitat for Humanity, and there was a work share arrangement where the potential owners were requested and required to put in sweat equity, certain hours of labor as they built this property, and the prices were adjusted somewhat to accommodate that, but I believe it was still a pretty significant price. So as we go through this, we can take a look, look for the ramp, look for these other areas that one should consider in terms of the standards for livability, and just keep that in mind as we look at these issues. Now, this is another quick tour from the AARP that shows you the ADU, the accessory dwelling units, because that was an issue brought up by the city council. And the issue is they are pushing this to address the housing crisis that is facing the nation. There's a significant number of people that are rent burdened, paying a large portion of their income just for rent. So these ADUs in some places are not legal. I believe in my town they're legal, but there still needs to be some understanding, because you see there's a main house and then there's a house in the rear. So as one of the you see that looks like a grandma waving from the rear who has her own private space. Now these can range from 300 to 1,000 square feet. If you want to learn a little bit more and see some examples of what is considered livable, what is adequate and appropriate under these circumstances, I highly encourage you to check out the